Junko, Toko. Press the doorbell. A few seconds.
Who's there?
Special stream cannon. Thanks so much for the host, dude. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. The most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
Well, what do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Dropping some love. Aw, thanks. Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall.
What do you want?
Said you wanted to talk to me about something? I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you. What? I don't know what you're talking about. You need your life back? From what? Also, I think we can increase the volume level of the game a little bit. There, that should be better. Byakuya already told me she had asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master 2? I just said 2, didn't I? I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So can you tell me about it? I admit, I did get the note, but I didn't go see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Maybe Genocide Jack did. Or Jill. Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice to accept what no choice to be accepted as fact. Heading off to cook. Thank you for the host. Is that good enough? And I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Oh my god. People that have died. Leon. And thank you for the follow, dude. Assuming you're a dude. I don't know if you are. Press the doorbell. Ding dong. And after a few seconds...
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yeah, actually, I just wanted to check something. About how Sakura wanted to meet with you. What? How did you know about that?
Could it be...
Oh, did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? But I'm not the only one she asked to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that? What? Oh, well, when she asked me to meet with her, of course. But she didn't write you a note? Yeah, a note.
How about that?
She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like, in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So then you went and met with Sakura?
You got it all wrong!
No way! I totally didn't! Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually...
Last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office.
Don't look at me!
I haven't seen her since then! While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? Do I still have it? Let's see. Oh, whoops. I just missed. Makoto said that. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on.
Ah, sorry. It looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. And when he did, I saw something fall out to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Huh?
Huh?
What? quick as the wind, Hero snatched it back up again and shoved it back into his pocket.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out. Trash?
What?
Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked to meet with me, but I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me. Before waiting for a reply, Hero quickly slipped back into his room. Hero said that was just trash, but there's no way that's all there is to it. Pocket trash. Okay, so I've heard from Toka and Hero. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe you should find out more about the protein can we found on the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So where should I start? Okay, let's run. Ba-na-na-na-na. Do-do-do-do-do. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Do-do-do-do. Makoto, did you have your eye on the chem lab too? Just make sure you don't get in my way. Yeah, got it. I think what you meant to say was, yes sir, I understand. Fuck you. This is my first time seeing the shelf, but I just can't get over how big it is. Should probably take a closer look at it. Looks like there's like 3 shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. But more important right now, what's that powder that's been spilled in front of the shelf? You should be careful to not step in it. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where all the powder came from? Looks like the bottle had a label on it. Chem C4. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on the 4th floor this morning, checking things out, and at that point, this room wasn't like this. And this powder must have been spilled.
So, in other words...
That's right. It could only have been around the time of the incident. If that's really what happened, it must be related to the case somehow. So this shelf looks like a bunch of chemicals that I have no idea what they are. They're reagents. Put simply, they're used in experiments to bring out a chemical reaction. How have you lived in ignorance for so long? It must truly be bliss. Isn't that kind of harsh?
What?
What? You think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world?
That's fine.
The words of a lifelong loser, which I suppose suits you well. I didn't even say that. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Right now I need to focus on the shelf. All the containers of this shelf are labeled with a letter B and a number. Guess I can consider this part of the shelving until Unit Section B. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here, in which case I don't think I have to worry too much about this shelf. Let's see, what's on the shelf? There are all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from this shelf. All the containers on the shelf are labeled with the letter A and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving Unit Section A. Huh, but wait! There's one bottle here that's labeled Chem C9. So I'm gonna put it here on accident? On this shelf there's one look and I can tell that it's nothing but dangerous chemicals. They look like poisons and other powerful chemicals. All the containers on the shelf are labeled with the letter C and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section C. To try to find out more about this shelving unit. Looks like it's split into 3 sections. Section A has dietary supplements, Section B has reagents, and Section C has lethal chemicals. Sakura must have gotten the protein powder from Section A. What concerns me is that in that Section A, there was a bottle with a label from Section C. What was that bottle of poison from Section C doing in Section A? There's definitely something going on here. Chemlag shelf. I'm gonna do the truth bullet section. Oh, did I not? Ooh, footsteps. Are these footprints? These are footprints? And they're only in front of the left shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? You may need to sketch out the floor plan. By we, do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and pen.
What?
Well, let's go. Chop chop. Okay. They got to work, and before long I'd drawn up a sketch of the room. So how's this? Not bad. For you, I mean. For me?
I see.
So, when you look at it like this, interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to do, and then left. That's what the footprints tell me.
I see.
These footprints must be...
It's certainly possible.
Makoto, are they yours? No!
What?
Okay, then let me see your shoes and I'll confirm their size for myself. Couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. I see. So your feet do appear to be too big. Unfortunately, I must admit, these are not your footprints. Unfortunately? With how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. These prints are a really valuable clue. But... oh, just the stain, okay. It's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor, better not leave a footprint. Should probably take a good hard look at that powder. It's a bunch of yellow powder scattered in front of the shelf. There's also the remains of a broken bottle. It looks like the bottle was labeled Chem C4. Also, it looks like someone left a footprint in the powder. Okay, so I want to see what that medicine said. Polka dot candy wrapper. Huh. A2. Okay. Based on the positioning of the prints, whoever it was only went to the left of the shelf. According to Byakuya, the powder would had to have been spilled right around the time of the incident. That's all I can tell for now. I've already taken a good look at the cam lab. Maybe I should take another look at the rec room. Na 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 na. Ba na 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 na.
Hey.
So Makoto, how's your investigation going? I told Kyoko what Tobin had told me.
I see.
So along with Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. But it's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying.
Anyway.
Well, I made some progress of my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of the magazines, and the Monokuma bottles. These three things have revealed new clues. You do well to look them over one more time. Wait, what did she say? Sorry.
Hey.
Sakura's body is shelf of magazines and a Monokuma bottle. According to Kyoko, there's still something to be discovered from Sakura's body.
Just a second.
Just staring off into space isn't going to help you figure out anything out. Well, yeah, I know, but...
Hey.
Don't you think you might need to actually examine the body? There's no getting around it. Like me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to. Although, there are still some times... Can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it.
It's true.
That's totally normal. Then how can you...
So...
I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. What? Sorry, never mind.
Hey.
More importantly, look here. Her shoes?
Correct.
You see that yellow powder on her instep? Yeah, it really stands out.
I see.
That powder is clue number 1.
Hey.
Next to the wound to her head. Look carefully.
It's true.
Actually, even telling you that, it's incredibly difficult to spot. So let me just explain.
It would seem...
It would appear she didn't suffer a single blow, but instead received 2 blows to the head. 2 blows?
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing.
Correct.
Both of her hands are spotless, with absolutely no trace of blood on either one.
It's true.
That's what I learned from examining her body in detail. Cool. I can't believe she was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. Clue. Huh? This magazine is upside down. Someone put it back that way on accident?
Hey.
If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Yeah, you're right. Pick up the inverted magazine and flip through. This is one of the pages near the center of the magazine. A word had been written in blood. The bloody letters, and it said Toko. Huh. Could this be a dying message?
Correct.
Then it would appear you found it. Kyoko, is this?
So...
It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. Someone. A dying message.
However...
Just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I made sure to put it back exactly as I found it, for the benefit of others who might come looking. Hey, is that... That says Toko, right? Yeah, it looks like it. What the heck? Then she's the killer, right? Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet. It's settled. She's the killer for sure. She's very upset. She lost her best friend. She's jumping to conclusions too quickly. We can use it to corner the killer. I can see why he would think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything, it makes that much more suspicious. Monokuma bottle. Glass. For sure, your glass scatter all over. And Kyoko said she found a new clue involving the Monokuma bottles. Something new. Something new. There's 2 missing.
Hey.
So, did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention and you're sure to find it. Yeah, it's the pieces they're holding. Hey Kyoko, can't you just tell me what it is?
So...
I don't mind guiding you toward clues, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusions so that everyone can have confidence in the outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? No answer? I do trust you to a degree. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree. Monokuma bottle has been updated in the truth bullet section of your handbook.
Hey,
Actually, there's one other thing about the Monokuma bottle that's bothering me. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right? An experiment?
anyway,
You gather up all the pieces of the broken Monokuma bottle. So you got the smaller pieces too. Huh? Are you sure it's okay to mess with the crime scene like that?
that doesn't matter.
I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. And that obnoxious Byakuya is not here, so...
So then,
Anyway, I need to get something from the chem lab. While I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass. After that, Kyoko left the room. I really don't know what this is all about, but what choice do I have? I better just do it. The broom and dustpan and got to work collecting all the broken bottle pieces. And just as I finished up, sorry to keep you waiting.
so then,
Is everything ready? Then let's get to work. So what kind of experiment are we
in other
We're
words,
doing? I got a skill from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare weights. Compare the weights of what? Pieces of glass you collected. And one of the Monokuma bottles that's still intact. Thank you, GF Phony, for the auto host. Thank you so much. That's the point of the experiment. It will make sense when we're done.
listen.
First, let's compare the weight of 2 of the normal Monokuma bottles. It's balanced,
In other words,
which means each Monokuma bottle weighs about the same. Which makes sense. Monokuma figures inside are basically the same and nothing else could really affect the weight.
so then,
Now here comes the important part. Put all the pieces you picked up on one side of the scale. Now, what might we expect to see? Well, a normal assumption would be either they'll balance out or the pieces collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here and there.
so then,
Okay, let's give it a try. Huh? The broken pieces are heavier? How's that possible? Yeah, that's more than 1 bottle worth of glass. Oh
I
gosh,
knew
we're
it.
getting this again. I thought I'd fixed that. What?
in other words,
Results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles. Put it all together,
hey,
and I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So, what do you think? It's all on you. And it's already over!
Whoops! You caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake. Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right?
Yeah.
Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school.
Okay.
See you soon.
It's already time, but the mysteries of the locked room is still only half solved. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen at the class trial. No, not whatever happens. I have to make something happen. Monokuma had made his announcement, and everyone began to meet up, one after another. And then... The ultimate martial artist! A locked room murder mystery, wink.
what?
What the? Oh, I've just recently discovered the power of emoticons! Like, no matter how awful something is, if you toss in a smiley face, it turns positive.
Yes, indeed.
For example, you're at the picnic and they find a dead body! This is just plain creepy.
Well,
How about the reverse? No matter how great something is, if you put in the sad face, it makes something look super negative.
yes, indeed.
For example, do you have 100 friends? He's right, that does make it seem sad.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Now then, please get on the elevator. I'll see you all down there. What the hell was that? I don't get it.
Just the worst.
I don't get you guys. How can you act so casual after murdering someone?
Don't look at
I
me!
don't think I'm acting casual.
Don't be mean!
I mean, I didn't murder anyone.
What the heck?
Yeah, I'm completely innocent. How dare you call me a murderer?
What the heck?
Whatever. Either way, the truth will be revealed soon enough. Because there can be no doubt one of us is the culprit. The killer. The one that murdered Sakura. She was stronger than anyone I know. And yet someone killed her. That person is here? That person is one of us? Come on, it's time to put an end to this! I made my way toward the elevator. With each step I took, I felt like I was moving further and further away from my goal. I could feel a chilling fear running through me, trying to make me rot from the inside out. No matter how many times I got through this, it never gets any easier. We climbed into our steel prison in total silence. We watched the doors close and felt it begin its sinister descent. The elevator lowered, uttering its all too familiar clunking sounds. It fell lower and lower, and as suddenly as always, the ride was over. The doors opened once again. Just the 6 of you, huh? Really? That's so few! You must be so lonely. You say like it. You say like that is. You say that like it's not your fault. You say that. Oh my god. You say that like it's not your fault we're all that's left. What a sentence. I wonder, will the class trial end with one last classmate again? Or will your school life come to an end completely?
Now then,
Are we ready to begin? You know the drill. Find your assigned seats. Oh, there's a lot less people now. Deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly fate, a deadly class trial. Okay, set skills. Oh, that's actually there. Bullet and bell. Increases bullet capacity. Oh, that's very useful. Neural liberation. Focus gauge increases more slowly during concentration and fever time. There you go. All rise.
let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, where to begin?
We already know who did it.
Whoa, deja vu.
The one who killed Sakura is one of the people that hated her. Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It was one of you.
Idiot.
I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah! I'd never kill someone, no way!
I don't want to hear your stupid excuses.
Tina seems really sure that one of those three is the killer. But she must have some reason for believing that.
It It was one of you.
I have written notes to Choco, Bianca, and Yasumi asking if you can read Let's let these notes and each person it's ruined.
One of you killed Sakura.
And what reason do you have for saying so?
Because you all had a motive. You hated her.
Is that it? That doesn't make any sense.
That's the only reason you have her accusing us?
That's low. That's about as low as you can get.
Okay.
It was one of you killed.
And what reason do
Because you hated her.
Is that it? That doesn't make any sense.
That's the only reason you have her accusing us?
No, that's wrong.
Okay.
Another reason you suspect them is because Sakura wanted to meet with them, right?
Yeah, and that was right before she died. So there's no doubt about it. One of those three killed her.
I can't disagree with Hina. There's a good reason to suspect all three of them. And does that mean one of them did it?
The fact that Sakura wanted to meet with all three of them, there's no way that's not suspicious. One of you is absolutely guilty.
I don't deny that she wanted to meet with us, but I never went to see her.
I didn't either.
Yeah, same here. I never saw her.
No, that's wrong.
You're wrong!
Hiro, when we were talking before, you dropped a small piece of paper, remember? It was white with red polka dots.
What's that got to do with anything?
Red polka dots? That's gotta be the wrapper from the candy I gave Sakura.
No, it's,
Ever since we got into the warehouse, I totally monopolized that entire box of candy. So there's no way a single one of them was left in the warehouse.
In that case, Hiro, where did you get that piece of candy?
From Sakura! It's the only explanation.
well, I mean, yeah, sure I got it from her, but she gave it to me forever ago. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to her.
When? When did she give it to you?
The last time you saw Sakura was when Hina had to go to the nurse's office, right?
Yeah, so I must have got it sometime before then.
But what Hiro said can't be right. Because Sakura only could have gotten the candy after the incident in the nurse's office.
I got it! I'm not sure about that, Hiro. Hina didn't actually give Sakura the candy till after she left the nurse's office. So if that was the last time you saw her, there's no reason you should have had that candy.
Damn it. I mean, what I meant was, oh, that's right. I did meet up with her in the rec room. You got a problem with that?
Why the sudden hostility?
But we just talked, that's all. I didn't do anything, you gotta believe me.
You're acting incredibly suspicious.
You're acting incredibly suspicious.
More hostile.
It's not just normal hostility. You're the real culprit. I even have proof.
Huh? Proof? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about her shining message.
What would her shining message even be?
At the scene of the crime, she had written out Toko in her own blood, right?
How could you have known?
It was her dying message. Just like what you guys were talking about with Sayaka.
That's true. I saw it for myself.
See? See? Toko did it!
What are you saying? No way! I didn't do it!
You just don't know when you're beat, do you?
Hiro, hold on. When did you see that dying message of hers?
Huh? Well, when we found Ogre's body. Duh.
But if you recall, Hina was very adamant about keeping you away from the scene of the crime. So it's hard to believe that's when you actually saw the message for yourself.
Huh? Hold on. When Kyoko found the magazine with the dying message in it, it was...
I got it! Kyoko, you found the magazine on the magazine shelf, right?
That's right. Looking through the shelf, I found the magazine with the dying message on it. I found it right there at the scene of the crime, after we'd started the investigation.
If that's true, then what Hiro just said doesn't really make sense, does it?
Doesn't make sense? What doesn't make sense? Everything I said makes perfect sense.
There's definitely something strange about it. Kyoko found the dying message during the investigation, in which case, it clearly contradicts with what Hiro told us. Regulus Pastor, thank you so much for
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message. When Ogre's body was discovered.
Whoops.
And I can tell you when I found the dying message. It was only after the investigation had begun. I found the magazine tucked away on the magazine shelf. When I pulled it out, I saw her final words.
What's your problem? What I said makes total sense.
He said he saw the dying message when he first found the body. And at that time, where was the magazine?
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message. When Ogre's body was discovered.
And I can tell you when I found the dying message.
This is hilarious. I can tell you when I found...
It was only after the investigation had begun. I found the magazine tucked away on the magazine shelf. When I pulled it out,
What's your problem? What I said makes total sense!
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message. When Ogre's body was discovered.
What's wrong? Did I say something weird?
Shoot!
I need to think about it one more time.
I can tell you exactly when I found the... When Ogre's body was discovered.
and I can tell you when I found the dying message. It was only after the investigation had begun. I found the magazine tucked away on the magazine shelf. When I pulled it out,
What's your problem? What I said makes total sense!
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message. When Ogre's body was discovered.
Shoot!
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying mess.
When Ogre's body was
And I can tell you when
it was only after the investigation. I found the magazine tucked away on the magazine shelf. When I pulled it out,
What's your problem? What
It
I
doesn't
said
really
makes
make
total
sense
sense!
because it's too much of a... And Hiro would have had to pick it out of the magazine shelf right after we found the body.
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message. When Ogre's body was discovered.
There you go.
No, that's wrong!
Break!
When Sakura's body was found, that magazine was sitting on the shelf nearby. That's where Kyoko found it, after we'd begun the investigation. And you weren't at the murder scene, so there's no way you could have seen it then. Tell us the truth, Hiro. When did you see the message?
Nice.
Hold on! You're focusing on the wrong part! Why does it matter when I saw it? All you gotta do is read the Vienna sausage Ogre left us, and we know who the killer is! Toko!
I don't even know where to begin with that one. He's just trying to confuse us.
actually, can we even be sure Sakura wrote that message in the first place?
Yeah? I think we can all agree Ogre wrote that message. 100%, without a doubt, she wrote it! And this is me talking, so you know it's true.
Without a doubt? No, I absolutely do doubt it. There's no way Sakura wrote that message. I have.
Show me the proof. I'm at least 30% right. The occult is bullcrap. Give it a rest. I'm at least 30% right. The occult is bullcrap.
Thank you for the cheer.
The end is nigh. Show me the proof. I'm at least 30% right. The occult is bullcrap. Give it a rest. I'm at least 30% right.
Thank you so much, Boon.
Show me the proof.
This should prove it.
For the bits. Hashtag charity,
I'm
nice.
completely unconvinced that Sakura wrote that dying message. Because if you look at it, the message was almost certainly written using a finger, but both of her hands were completely free of blood.
Say what?
Then, who did write it?
Hiro could very well have written it himself. That would explain how he knew about the message in the first place.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
The occult is bullcrap.
Ah! He admits it!
Whatever.
I figured as much.
There's probably some truth to it.
But why would you write something like that?
Because I killed her!
What? You're admitting to killing her?
Please, just let me explain what happened. I got Ogre's note, and so I headed to the rec room right before noon, just like it said.
You just did exactly as the note asked? What a fool.
And when I got there...
Sorry. Do you mind waiting? I asked a couple other people to meet as well. Okay. Would you like a piece of candy? Candy. It might help give you some energy. Oh, sure, thanks.
And that's all she said. After that, we just stood around in awkward silence. Suddenly, I heard her mutter something.
This is it. I'm going to end it today. I'm going to end everything.
As soon as I heard that, I just knew. I knew she was gonna try and kill me. She was gonna kill me and make her escape. So of course I freaked out, and then... I saw my only chance. I grabbed the Monokuma bottle from the shelf and smashed it across her head. I hit her from behind before she had any idea what was happening. Then she just went limp. I didn't see her move again after that. Once it was over, I pulled myself together. I realized if I didn't do something, I'd be caught and executed. So I wrote Toko's name in blood across a magazine on the table and I ran away.
I can't believe you! You're the worst! I hope you die!
Well, that's what happened. Go ahead. Roast me, boil me, do whatever you want.
Did it really kill her?
You're not gonna get off that easy. It's death. Death for the one that killed Sakura.
Oh gosh.
We're ready to vote now, right? We know who did it.
No, I think there's more to Hiro's story.
What are you talking about? What else could there be?
There's one thing that Hiro's story just now doesn't explain. And until we figure that part out, we can't consider the case closed.
So what it is that Hiro did... So what is it that Hiro did that doesn't make sense? What he could have had to do after writing the message, it doesn't make sense.
Shoot!
Yeah.
got it!
Yeah, why was it hidden?
That's true. Everything you just said. It doesn't explain why the magazine was hidden, does it? By the time the body was discovered, the magazine had been picked up and put on the shelf.
Of course I like subs. Subs are awesome.
Why would you take the time to write that message, then
Whoa,
stick it
really?
somewhere we might not find it?
Awesome! Thank you! Thank you so much, dude! That's awesome! Thank you! Thanks so much! That's awesome. Why would you take the time to write that message and stick it somewhere we might not find it?
Oh. Well, I didn't hide it. I'm sure I just left it sitting there on the table.
Really?
He's lying! He's gotta be lying!
I don't see any reason he would lie now, after already confessing to the crime.
Then, he's not lying?
Assuming he's telling the truth, someone else must have put the magazine back on the shelf.
A sub happened.
In other words, at least one other person was in the rec room both before and after the incident.
I don't think there's any question about that.
But then,
If they went to the trouble of hiding the magazine, they must not have liked what was written on it.
Yeah, he is.
I got it! It had to be Toko, right? Who else would want to hide the magazine other than the person whose name was written on it?
is he right, Toko? Did you really go to the rec room? Why would I have... Wait, but more important, that doesn't even matter. We already know who did it, right? Hero just admitted it.
That's right. I killed her.
No, you didn't.
Who asked you?
I don't doubt Hiro attacked Sakura with the bottle. But that's not where this case ends.
The killer is Pokemon, yeah.
What do you mean?
What he means is that Hiro isn't the killer.
You can't be serious. That's just... I don't believe it.
Hiro, tell us what happened one more time. If we go through it once more, it should become clear he's not Sakura's killer.
If you really want to support the plan, post your credit card number directly in the chat. Yeah, don't be stupid.
So, what do you want me to do?
Just tell us what happened one more time when you attacked Sakura.
I don't really see why, but okay.
You haven't reached the end of the case just yet. Here isn't the real killer. 696969696969 42069. Of course. Ooh, multiple choices. Na 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 na.
I didn't want to, but I did it. I grabbed a Monokuma bottle from the shelf nearby, and I hit Ogre from behind before she could do anything.
You hit her from behind. And you only hit her once, is that right?
Yeah, just once. After the first swing, the bottle shattered,
Thanks, Ruben.
and she went limp.
See? Hero really is the killer.
2 cents don't help. Big badge.
I didn't want to, but I did it. I grabbed a Monokuma bottle from the shelf nearby, and I hit Ogre from behind before she could do anything.
You hit her from behind. And you only hit her once, Is that right?
Yeah, just once.
All
No,
right.
it's wrong. If Sakura died from Hiro's single blow, that doesn't explain why she had 2 head wounds.
2?
That's right. She had 2 separate wounds on her head.
And remember, this girl examines dead bodies as a hobby. Personally, I'm inclined to believe her.
But I only hit her once. How could she have 2 wounds?
2 wounds means she was struck twice. What's more, both attacks must have come from a Monokuma bottle.
Hold on. How can you know that just from some cuts on her head? She was attacked twice with 2 Monokuma bottles?
It's not just because of her head wounds. It's also because of the Monokuma bottles themselves. There's something very suspicious about those bottles. Once you understand that point, you'll understand why 2 separate Monokuma bottles must have been used. Think back. After the incident, there were 4 Monokuma bottles left on the shelf, right? And we found pieces of a bottle on the ground, along with the chess piece it had inside.
That was the bottle Hiro hit Sakura with, right?
For now, just note that there were 4 intact bottles and 1 broken bottle. But originally, there were 6 bottles in total, meaning 1 has gone missing.
But how can you know for sure there were 6 bottles?
That's easy.
Count 'em.
If you look at what the
Oops. The correlation between the Monokuma bottles, I feel like it's starting to become clear. Connection must be... Yeah, of course. Chess piece. Got it.
Now I understand. That's it. The chess pieces. Inside each bottle, there was a Monokuma figure holding a different chess piece.
King, rook, bishop, pawn. I definitely remember seeing each of those.
And the piece that was inside the broken bottle we found was the knight, if I remember.
So, what's that matter?
I guess you don't know too much about chess, do you? Then let me... In chess, there are 6 different pieces. The king, the queen, the rook, knight, bishop, and pawn. What was left intact at the crime scene were the king, rook, bishop, and pawn. Just those 4. And on the ground was the knight.
Oh, so the queen is missing.
So we only have evidence for 5 bottles at the scene, while 1 apparently went missing.
What does chess have to do with anything?
Yeah, shogi is way better.
Yeah. Wait, no, that's not what I mean. So, let's say a bottle did go missing. There's still no evidence that has anything to do with
You
this
have to
case.
put effort into this stream. Yeah,
That bottle could have disappeared any time before the murder.
not
No.
that much effort.
It's clear that the missing bottle is connected to this case.
How is it clear?
Think about what state the missing bottle must have been in. Maybe then you'll understand.
I got it! The bottle must have been broken.
What makes you so sure?
Because there was evidence at the scene that supports it.
Yep.
Huh?
That's right. We found evidence that shows there was more than just one broken bottle at the scene.
And what is this evidence?
It wasn't just a single broken bottle. The evidence that proves that is Kyoko and I figured it out before. I don't exactly remember the requirements. You gotta have like a steady stream schedule. Stream enough within per week, I believe, and have a certain amount of followers.
I got it! Earlier, Kyoko and I did a little experiment. We compared the weight of the broken bottle pieces at the scene to one of the unbroken bottles. And what we found was that the collection of pieces was heavier. And the reason for that is there was actually more than one bottle's worth of shattered glass.
So from this, we can surmise that 2 bottles were actually broken at the scene of the crime.
Yeah, we wanted to make an emote while I was in Australia, but we didn't have a good tablet pen, and the one she had was missing, or something else. Something else happened. I don't quite remember, but whatever.
But someone did their best to clean up the pieces of one of the bottles, along with the figure inside.
But yeah, we'll get emotes soon, as soon as possible at least.
But when they did, they must have left behind a few too many pieces. Which is only natural. They certainly had no way to measure the exact right number of pieces to remove.
But why would they have to try and get rid of it like that anyway?
Heavier pieces in the plastic bag. No, she first, measured 2 bottles. So, essentially, the plastic bag should have only, it kind of made it, slightly heavier, only, but, the scale went completely like this. And then it's pretty clear that there's a large difference in weight. Don't assume the bag's gender. Oh. Jesus Christ.
Because of what it would reveal about the case.
Controversy, yeah.
I got it! The bottle that was removed from the scene was used the second time Sakura was attacked.
The second wound on Sakura's head came from that second bottle. Given all the evidence, this is the only possible conclusion.
The killer wanted to make it look like there was only one attack, so they had to get rid of their evidence.
From there, we can conclude that it wasn't Hiro who delivered that second blow. Wouldn't you agree, Toko? And there's the matter of the magazine. You must have been in the rec room when the incident took place.
Wait! I admit, maybe there was a second attack, but...
They are high school kids, yes.
But there's no evidence I had anything to do with it!
Makudu did it.
No way! You killed her! I'm sure of it!
Shut up! Until 2 seconds ago, you were claiming you killed her!
I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. That's just the kind of guy I am. Plus, I just remembered something that proves it.
Okay, fine. Let's hear it.
It was right after I got Ogre's note. I was kind of nervous about it, so I went to the rec room early. You know, to stake it out or whatever. So I was waiting there, and that's when I saw her. I saw Toko go into the rec room.
You did?
Pretty soon, Ogre showed up, and she went into the rec room. I assumed Toko was still in there, so I figured everything would be okay. That's when I got inside. Ogre was all alone. Toko had disappeared.
And you just now decided to share that with us?
After the shock of thinking I'd
Nice.
killed someone, I forgot all about it.
Could someone tighten the screws on his brain? I think they've come loose.
So, Toko, where the heck did you disappear to?
You don't know what you're talking about. I never went in the rec room.
I'm sure she didn't disappear, but maybe she found somewhere to hide.
Hiding in the rec room? Don't be ridiculous.
You hid in that locker.
Why are you all ganging up on me? You're all nothing but vermin.
No, it's not ridiculous at all. Any proof that shows Toko is hiding in the rec room. I have it. She listed it there for anyone to find. Villain has been added to bullet time battles. Oh, sure. Cool. Okay, see you later, Ruben.
It's a lie. I admit nothing. I hate you. I curse you. No, no, no! That's enough! I admit nothing. I curse you. I curse you. It's a lie! That's enough! It's a lie! I admit nothing. I hate you. I curse you. That's enough!
This should prove it. Did you know someone left a handprint behind on the inside of the locker? They must have been hiding in there and put their hand on the wall without thinking. Does this handprint look familiar, Toko?
No, it doesn't.
Okay then, let's just compare it to your hand, shall we? That'll clear everything up.
Stop wasting my time. Just tell us the truth.
Okay, it's my handprint.
Dang, she just straight up admitted it.
When it stops circling the dots and says negative. Okay, so what you gotta do is the dots are basically a visual representation of the rhythm of the music, on which you have to press A to lock on, and then once you have a couple locked on, you can press Y to shoot your bullets. After a while, you can run out of bullets, so you need to reload a couple by pressing X on the beat as well. Sometimes when it'll get into negative, so like I don't exactly know what it would represent, but sometimes it goes into negative, so I guess the one you're like whatever. What happens then is basically it causes you to not be able to see the dots. So you gotta do it basic, like purely on the rhythm that you're hearing. And then at the end, once like all our defenses are down, you gotta press well, you gotta, as you could see, first select the bullet and then press Y.
Then you killed Sakura! No, I swear, there's no way!
Out with it.
I probably did kill her.
Straight up again?
Wait, what do you mean probably?
Give us the details, Toko. What happened between you and Sakura?
Talk. Now.
After I read Sakura's note, I decided to go there early, so I went into the rec room. I didn't know what she might do if I didn't go, but I was too scared to face her head on. So I figured I'd just sneak in first and hide in the locker.
Then, did you see what happened? Did you see me hit her?
Yes, and I saw you write my name. I saw you forge her dying message.
Well, that's awkward.
So after he left, I jumped out of the locker and put the magazine back on the shelf.
But when you did, you put it back upside down.
I didn't mean to. I was in a hurry.
Imbeciles, all of you.
Forget all that. Why did you attack Sakura? After I put the magazine back, I heard a sound behind me like a monster growling. And when I turned around, there was Sakura, covered in blood and staring right at me. When I saw all that blood, I fainted. Right there in front of the magazines. I don't remember what happened after that. If you want to know more, you'll have to ask her.
Her, you mean?
Guess who's back?
It was your fault after all!
My fault, Master's fault. When our faults combine, they soar to even greater heights.
Just answer the question. Did you kill Sakura?
Well, to be honest, Miss Morose and me don't actually share our memories, so I can't really say what was going on. But I was just minding my own business, sleeping peacefully when someone shook me awake. Was it a prince paying me a visit? I wondered. So I opened my eyes to see... splatter everywhere! I was not prepared for that. And, well, I guess it took me by surprise.
Well, it is, like, made pink so that I could, like, get a pass on the rating board.
I got so startled, I smacked her with the first thing I could find, which I guess was a bottle. Sakura was just worried about you, and you're terrible! No, she's terrible! Thanks to her, I murdered someone who wasn't an adorable boy for the first time ever!
And when it was all over, you collected the pieces of the bottle to get rid of the evidence, didn't you?
I wasn't about to die for some woman! If I'm gonna go down, I want it to be for killing Master!
Just go away and die your meaningless death alone. Don't drag me into it.
But I just can't catch a break, you know?
No,
They
it's not
set it out
PG.
for me. Because normally, Sakura should have been able to dodge my attack no problem.
Lighthearted style of the game? You mean high school kids murdering each other? Lighthearted?
Even as strong as she is, she must have still been reeling from Hiro's attack.
Hey, come on! That's... you know... But anyway, I'm not the one that killed Ogre! So that's good!
So that's good. Keep talking like that and Hina's gonna...
Well then, that's that. Let's start the vote.
Huh, I thought for sure you'd have some word for Hiro on that one.
What's wrong? Come on, everyone, we're ready to vote, right? Let's do this.
No, not quite yet.
Huh? Not yet? Why not yet?
Don't you think there was something odd about Toko's story? I mean, you had to have noticed.
Odd? Huh?
Hiro's attack, and then Toko's, but that still wasn't the end of it.
It wasn't?
Tell us your story one more time. Tell us what happened after you fainted. Then even this gaggle of idiots should understand what I'm talking about.
Your wish is my command, darling.
It's not over yet, is it? One who killed Sakura is... Come on, dude.
I was just sleeping peacefully, and all of a sudden, Sakura was right there in front of me. I remember waking up right in front of the magazine shelf.
You were taken by surprise when you saw Ogre covered in blood. So you smashed her head in with the Monokuma bottle?
You got it! I smashed her good!
And where did the attack take place?
Right where I woke up! I killed her there in front of the shelf!
Okay.
I was just sleeping peacefully, and all of a sudden, I remember waking up.
You were taken by so you smashed her.
You got it!
And where did the attack?
Right where I woke up! I killed her
There in front of the shelf. No, that's wrong. We found Sakura sitting upright in a chair. If the blow by the shelf was the cause of death, there's no explanation why she was in that chair.
So, you finally noticed.
That's just another lie from a bloodthirsty serial killer.
Are you sure you didn't attack her while she was sitting in the chair?
No, I'm sure she's telling the truth. Anyone who saw the murder scene should think the same way.
That has to be it. Even if that proves there was an attacker from the magazine shop.
I got it! Sakura was definitely attacked in front of the shelf. The blood stain by the magazines is proof of that.
Then she must have moved the body after she killed her, right? All to make it look like I did it. Because when I hit her, she was sitting in the chair.
Hey, come on now, look at me! I can't carry anything heavier than my own scissors! There's no way I could move a muscle-bound heavyweight like that!
Then what's the deal?
Well, are you still convinced the case has come to an end?
But...
Plus, the biggest mystery of all, the locked room, still has yet to be explained. Until we take care of that, we can't say this case has been properly settled.
Oh, that part's easy. After she killed Sakura, Toko just hid in the locker again.
So she just hid in there till everyone showed up and opened the door? And while everything was all confused and hectic, she just snuck out of the locker into the group.
No, I don't think that's possible.
The reason there's no way Toko was hiding in the locker is because... I was in the locker.
I got it! Even before we opened the door to the rec room, Hina and I both got a look inside. And at that point, the locker was already open.
Oh
So
gosh.
obviously Toko couldn't have been hiding in there.
Okay then, where was she hiding?
I don't know! What's this whole locked room thing about anyway?
How do you not know? You killed her!
I think the fact that I don't know proves I didn't kill her, thank you very much. You're lying!
No, she's not. I've been saying all along, there's still more to this case.
But if Genocide Jill didn't do it, that means Ogre didn't die from the shot to the head.
And
Well, I can't imagine what else could have killed her.
that's because you're overlooking vital information.
Could we really be missing something so important? There's another possible explanation. Maybe it's...
What was it that killed Ogre? If it wasn't from Genocide Jill's attack, then what was it?
There's no other possible cause. What killed Sakura? I can't think of anything other than the shot to her head.
Shoot!
I feel like it's like
What was it that killed Ogre?
poison.
If it wasn't from Genocide
blood.
Jill's attack, then what was it?
That's probably it.
There's no other what killed Sakura. I can't think of anything other than the shot to her.
No, that's wrong! According to the Monokuma file, Sakura had vomited blood. I think we can assume there's a chance this was related to her cause of death. In fact, there was even a trace of blood left around her mouth.
Well, I mean, maybe when she got hit with the bottles, She cut the inside of her mouth.
If that's all it was, the file wouldn't have specified vomited blood. Not to mention, I didn't find any cuts inside her mouth.
You even checked in there? God, you really are into dead bodies!
No, I'm not into dead bodies. What I'm into is solving mysteries.
But if there wasn't a cut or anything, then what made her vomit blood?
Some sort of reaction within her body. Most likely, Sakura was poisoned.
Poisoned?
That's right. This is the conclusion I've arrived at, and so there can be no mistake.
You're making me go all weak in the knees! She was poisoned? It isn't possible!
Is it really so hard to believe? Then let me explain exactly how the culprit was able to poison her.
You can explain it?
Of course, if you don't mind.
Everyone quiet! Shut up and listen to Master!
But you're the only one talking.
The key to unlocking this mystery was hiding in the chem lab up on the 4th floor.
Huh? Not in the rec room? Then I could have found it all along.
Jack's been a local pharmacist that doesn't exist within the confines of the school because they're all completely locked in. Well, yeah.
You never would have, since you gave up on the search the moment you were barred from the crime scene.
Well, yeah, good point.
There's a big shelving unit in the chem lab that houses a variety of mixtures and chemicals.
Cool.
And that's where I found this.
Is that the poison?
It's not an especially powerful poison, but it'll still kill you if you drink an entire bottle. But the specific properties don't matter. What does matter is where I found it.
Where'd you find it?
The shelf is divided up into 3 sections, A, B, and C. In Section A, dietary supplements. In B, reagents. And in C, a variety of lethal chemicals.
And that's where the poison came from? Section C?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
I'm sure I know where you got it.
I got it! The poison was actually in Section A, wasn't it?
Huh? You just said that Section A was for supplements or whatever.
Strange,
Just
isn't
being
it?
a dick about
Why
it.
would there be a bottle of poison mixed in with all those nutritional additives?
Yeah, so? Why?
Because the culprit switched it out. That's why.
What do you mean?
I mean, this.
I couldn't believe my eyes. Byakuya put the bottle of poison to his lips and
Master!
we were so shocked at what we were all seeing. All we could do is stand there and watch. As if it were the most natural thing in the world, Byakuya was as calm as ever.
That tastes awful.
Oh no! Master's in real trouble! You have to drink some water! You can't just swallow powder! It'll stick to your throat!
Idiot! He just swallowed poison! We need to make him spit it out!
The flavor certainly makes me want to spit it out. What's so high quality about this stuff?
Huh? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the protein, of course.
Protein?
Can I see that bottle for a second?
Sure. Do whatever you like.
Kyoko took the bottle from Byakuya and scraped it out a bit of the contents with one finger. Just a finger to her tongue.
It's protein powder.
Correct. That wasn't poison in the bottle, but harmless protein powder. Which makes one wonder, the poison that should have been in that bottle, where did it go?
A bottle of poison that was actually filled with protein powder. Which would mean that conversely, the poison must have been in... Could it be? Protein. No. Whoops. I, please. Give me an I. And an N. There you go.
Now I understand. The poison must have been poured into the protein can. If the protein's in the poison bottle, it seems only logical to assume the reverse is true, right?
Absolutely. The contents of each container were switched. So the protein was in the bottle of poison,
Hi, Lawrence.
and the poison was in the protein can. Once you accept that, it becomes obvious how the culprit was able to get Sakura to drink the poison.
Holy crap!
All they had to do was hand her something there at the scene, and she was happy to drink the poison herself.
Something at the scene?
I got it! You're saying they gave her a protein drink, right?
Meanwhile, he's a mod. Don't say that shit.
A protein drink which actually contained a deadly poison.
What?
That's all it took to kill Sakura. That is the true cause of death.
He can... You know, he can ban you from the stream, right?
You know, I do remember Ogre saying that protein stuff was good for all kinds of aches and pains. So maybe she took it to try and help with the whole bleeding head wound thing.
But what was offered to her instead was a bottle full of poison. And I already know exactly who swapped the mixtures.
For real? Who was it?
Evidence revealing who replaced the two materials was left in the chem lab for anyone to see.
The evidence that shows who switched them, it has to be... Look at what I found in front of the shelf.
I got it! The footprints left behind in front of the shelf. That's the evidence you're talking about, isn't it?
Come on, guys, play nice. You got some ad bits when they hadn't fixed the proxy thing to watch ads. Now you can't anymore. Yeah, it fixed it right after you told me about it, and like I tried it, and then I was able to get a couple of bits in, but yeah, they definitely fixed it.
I visited the chem lab this morning, and there were definitely no footprints there at that point. They must have appeared around the time of the murder, which leaves no doubt that they're connected. What's more, the footprints were in front of Section A, where I found the bottle meant for the poison. The culprit must have gone to Section A to swap the poison and protein, leaving their footprints behind. And given how clear the prints were, figuring out who they belong to will pose no problem. All we have to do is check everyone's footprints right now. Then we'll see who...
It was me.
What?
The footprints. They're mine.
Hina?
If you're all gonna find out anyway, I'd rather you hear it straight from me, you know?
Then Ogre's killer was...
Yep. I did it. I killed Sakura.
What? No.
Just as I suspected.
No.
The
No.
footprints were made by a pair of sneakers. There was no mistaking it. And the only people here who wear sneakers are...
Doesn't make sense though for her to kill her.
I got it! Me and Hina are the only ones. Oh, so Byakuya. That explains why you...
These footprints must be... Makoto, are they yours? No! Okay, let me see your shoes and I'll confirm their size for myself.
If the footprints didn't belong to Makoto, that left only one other possibility.
Just Hina.
Plus, Hina's been acting strange ever since the trial began. You were in an awful rush to get to the vote, weren't you?
That's very true.
This whole time, you've been focused on pinning the crime on someone else, haven't you?
I can't believe it.
What about it can't you believe?
Well, it's just... the two of them were so close.
That's likely exactly why it turned out this way. Because they were so close, Sakura didn't think twice about it when Hina handed her the concoction. Hina used that trust to kill her. She deceived the victim, and she tried to deceive all of us.
That's really out of character, though, for her. She would not kill someone. She was so against killing from day one at all times. And now she would kill her best friend?
I have to say, Hina, coming from you, this was a particularly nasty little scheme.
Is it true? Did you really... kill Sakura? And if you did, why? Why would you do that?
I found her. There in the rec room. She was hurt. She asked me to bring her that protein drink. But when I went to get the powder from the chem lab, it just occurred.
Now's my chance to kill her. That's what you thought, right? That's when you switched out the protein powder, and that's when you gave her the poisoned mixture.
And then she downed it all at once. And then...
Hold it! I'm not convinced.
You're not about to claim she wouldn't kill a close friend, are you? You still don't get it, do you? The game we're playing here isn't so kind. Honeyed words like friendship don't matter here. What matters is outwitting the opponent, defeating them. Not a person alive would sacrifice themselves for another. In the end, we're all in it for ourselves. Just like how this girl sacrificed Sakura to save herself.
You say that, but I'm still not convinced.
How many times do you plan to repeat yourself?
Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying it because of some misguided sentimentalism.
You silly boon goon. Don't say silly stuff like that.
But there's still that one unsolved mystery, and I'm not convinced.
Are you talking about the locked room problem?
Hina, if you really are the killer, explain it. How did you create that locked room?
Well... that doesn't matter. Just because I'm guilty, that means I have to tell you everything?
No, it doesn't. But the fact that you won't tell us concerns me.
Surely you're not... Do you honestly think Hina didn't actually kill her?
And if I do?
Impossible. She switched out the mixtures. She's the culprit. There's no way you can doubt this.
There's yellow powder on Sakura's shoe. Sakura commit suicide?
Are you sure about that? Even ignoring the fact that I don't want to believe it, it just doesn't fit.
What doesn't fit?
I mean, why would someone leave such a clear clue like a footprint? It's too obvious, too easy.
He's right. It makes it look like you wanted people to suspect you.
That was... I was just... nervous. So, I didn't notice I'd left a footprint.
You didn't notice?
Yeah, that's just how it was. What can I do?
Listen, Hina. Could you go into a bit more detail? Tell us more about when you switched the poison and the protein.
How come? That doesn't matter.
Hina, please. I'd like to know too.
Fine.
Waste your time if you like. It's clear that Hina is the culprit. There's nobody else to suspect. Nobody else could have possibly done it.
Go ahead, Hina. Start from the moment you arrived at the chem lab.
Well, right away I went to Section C and got the poison.
And is that when you spilled the powder in front of that part of the shelf?
Yeah. When I opened the bottle, I dropped it like an idiot.
I see. Okay then, go on.
So then I moved to Section A and got the protein powder, and that's where I switched them. Once I was done with that, I took the protein can that had the poison in it and left the room. But I accidentally put the bottle filled with protein powder back on the wrong shelf. And because of that, everything I did got found out. And that's it.
That story you just told. First you went to Section C to get the poison. Then moved to Section A to get the protein, right? Meaning you went from Section C to Section A. Do I have that correct?
Yeah.
Shh. Shh. But if that's true, isn't that a little strange?
Can you repeat that series of events one more time?
What's wrong with you, Big Mac? You're being awfully pushy.
It's the same thing no matter how many times you hear it. How long until you're satisfied?
How long? Until we figure it out. Until I cover the full truth of this case.
First, I went to Section C. That's when I grabbed the poison.
And you spilled some of the powder on the ground in front of the shelf.
Yeah. When I grabbed the bottle, I dropped it.
Okay, and then?
I moved from Section C to Section A.
Nope.
No, that's wrong! You said you went to get the poison from Section C, and that's where you spilled the powder, right?
Yeah? What about it?
And after that, you said you moved from Section C to Section A to get the protein. But the footprints left at the scene were not moving from Section C to Section A. That contradicts what you just said.
Then maybe she moved in some weird direction on purpose to disguise her movements?
No, that can't be it. Remember what Hina just said?
I was just nervous, so I didn't notice I left a footprint.
What the? Hina, what's the meaning of this?
Well...
You lied to us. Plain and simple. If you look at the footprints, your movements in the chem lab are obvious. The powder had already been spilled when you came in, and you went straight to Section A. So you never went to Section C. Whatever you did there, it only involved Section A.
Well... You see...
What the hell? What's going on here?
And the footprints aren't the only problem with her account. Before I explain that part, I'd like to submit some new evidence.
New evidence? Impossible, there can't be.
Are you sure? After all, you're the one that gave it to me.
I did?
It was hidden inside the bottle of poison you gave me. I'm amazed you, of all people, would miss such a vital clue. A truly grave oversight.
Just say it already! What is it you think you found?
I found this.
Huh? A piece of glass?
It had sunk to the bottom of the bottle, and the hidden clue was exposed, thanks to you ingesting the powder. I couldn't have solved the mystery without you. So, thank you for that.
But what is it?
Oh, you still don't realize? Well then, Makoto, why don't you explain it?
Huh? Me?
Fine. If you really do know, explain the meaning of that shard of glass.
That shard of light blue glass Kyoko found at the pile of the poison. I think I remember now. Okay. Rec room window?
I got it! It's part of the window from the rec room door, right?
The window?
The window we broke to get in was light blue, just like that. So I think that must be it.
You're right. It must be. Of course, that leads to another question. How did a shard of glass from the window get inside this bottle of poison?
Oh
What's so
gosh.
strange about that?
What's strange is that, according to what Hina told us, I got it! The bottle of poison was left on the shelf in the chem lab. That is what you said, right, Hina? And yet, somehow a piece of glass from the rec room window made its way into the bottle.
Everything Hina told us was a lie?
In reality, that bottle of poison most definitely found its way to the rec room. It was there at least until the window got broken. There's no other way to explain the presence of that glass in that bottle.
And then, once the room was opened, the bottle somehow got moved back to the shelf in the chem lab. Meanwhile, the protein can we found at the crime scene was planted there. That had to be after the locked room was opened. In other words, after Sakura died.
Wait, hold on. You're moving too fast. I'll grant you, the bottle of poison may well have been in the rec room when it was locked. But how can you say the protein can was put there after the room was unlocked? We already know she was given the protein can with the poison inside, right? If that can wasn't there when she died, how did she get poisoned?
You're right. We do need to explain that. But before we do, there's something I'd like to confirm with everyone here.
Huh?
It has to do with the protein can. After Sakura's body was discovered, did anyone move it or trip over it or anything like that?
What are you talking about? Is this some kind of loaded question?
Not at all. Just answer to the best of your ability.
Well, no, not that I remember.
Yeah, me either.
Not me.
Same here. Yeah, me either.
Okay then, that settles it. That proves that the protein can found its way to the murder scene after the room was opened.
Oh, come on! How can you say that? How can you know what I don't know?
The reason she can say that is because there's evidence. There's proof that someone brought the protein can to the rec room after it was opened.
When it comes to that protein can, there's not a doubt in my mind. Until the locked room was unlocked, it absolutely was not in there.
So you're saying someone planted it there after we got the door open?
No. No, that's impossible! It had to have been in there the whole time! It had to be! It was in there before the wreck.
No, that's wrong.
Kodami is mad.
You remember how there was broken glass scattered all around the room, right?
Of course! It came from the window you broke to get in. What about it?
Well, those pieces weren't just scattered around the protein can. We also found pieces underneath the can.
What?
And this proves it. It shows that the can must have been put down on the floor after the window was broken. So it had to be after we got into the room.
I see. So that's your explanation. Kyoko, earlier when you asked if anyone had moved the can or tripped over it...
If that were the case, that would explain the can being on top of the glass.
So you asked everyone about it to eliminate that possibility right out of the gate.
And that's made everything clear, hasn't it? As long as it was a locked room, it only contained the bottle of poison, and not the protein can. But once the room was opened up, they were switched, and as a result, the protein can wound up in the rec room, and the bottle of poison returned to the chem lab.
That's all true, then why did Sakura drink the poison? I thought we all agreed she was tricked into drinking it because of the protein can.
No, that's not why. The only explanation is she drank it from its original bottle, knowing exactly what it was.
Precisely. She was alone in a locked room. All she had was the poison. What other possibility is there?
You're saying she drank it knowing what it was?
She committed suicide.
Such a ridiculous fiction is...
Exactly what happened.
Then tell us already! Sorry. Please, tell us.
Before we get to that, we need to clarify one other thing. We need to establish who exactly got the poison from the chem lab and took it to the rec room.
It was Hina, right? She took it and gave it to Ogre.
What do you think, Makoto?
One who got the poison in the chem lab and brought it to the rec room. Sakura.
I got it! I think it was Sakura herself.
Huh? So Sakura, who was apparently murdered, just poisoned herself? What are you talking about? There's no way!
Yeah.
On the contrary, we know for a fact she went to the chem lab, right to the section full of poisons.
You're lying! Stop lying! Why? Why would you lie like that?
No, it's not a lie. Sakura definitely went to Section C. Kyoko already showed me the evidence I need. Now I have to hit Hina with it. I have to make her accept it.
You're a liar! What are you saying? Wrong! You're wrong! I'm telling you, I did it! Stop talking! You're a liar! Wrong! You're wrong! I hate you! You're a liar! What are you saying? Wrong! You're wrong! I'm telling you, I did it! Stop talking! Do you have any kind of proof Sakura took the poison?
This should prove it. Hina, did you know that Sakura's foot had a certain yellow powder stuck to it?
It did?
It did. The same yellow powder that had been spilled by the shelf in the chem lab. That powder was yellow, wasn't it?
Hold on.
So the powder we found on Sakura, what else could it be but the powder from the chem lab?
Wait. So, what was that powder doing on Ogre's foot?
And it was only on her instep, right?
Sakura must have been standing right there where the powder was spilled. So the person who spilled the powder by the shelf wasn't Hina, but Sakura.
That's the ugly truth.
And when Sakura dropped the bottle, She dropped it away from where she was actually standing, which is how she was able to avoid getting it all over herself. But the powder still got scattered around, and some of it must have wound up on her instep. Is there any problem with my thinking?
But why did Sakura pay a visit to Section C in the first place? The only explanation is that she was looking for poison. After all, that's all that section contained.
No! It was me! The poison! Because I killed her!
No, you didn't kill her.
The connection between Sakura and the poison, the unsolved mystery of the locked room, there's only one way to explain it. All the way like this.
Here's my answer. The one who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
What? The killer was Sakura?
Wait, so you're saying it was suicide?
I don't believe it. I don't believe it any more than I believe I can fly.
I can't believe it either. Or rather, I don't want to believe it. But when you really think about it, everything matches up. Sakura went and got the poison. She barricaded herself in a room, and she drank it. All so she could end her own life. And that explains why we couldn't solve the mystery of the locked room.
Because Sakura wanted to create the locked room.
I got it! The locked room mystery was created by Sakura.
I'm sure she locked herself in so nobody could stop her from doing what she did. She sat there, drank the poison, and breathed her last breath. And the empty bottle of poison rolled around the locked room until we came and opened it. At that point, someone grabbed the bottle and snuck it out of the room. And that was you, wasn't it, Hina?
Thank you for the host, Strider. Thank you so much.
You did it to throw off the investigation, didn't you? When we found her body, you stayed right there near the door. Because you already knew Sakura was dead, and because the bottle of poison had rolled near the doorway.
That's when you picked up the bottle, right? I was too shocked to notice anything, and Kyoko was busy checking the body.
And the more I think about it, the more I realize how unusual your actions were.
I have to go get them. I have to go get the others.
You said you were going to go get everyone else, but your real intention was to go to the chem lab and switch out the containers, wasn't it?
That makes sense.
Once you were at the chem lab, you headed straight to the section where the protein powder was kept. There, you took the powder and poured it into the bottle of poison you'd grabbed from the rec room. When you left the lab, all you had was the empty protein can. Thinking about it like that, the footprints make perfect sense.
When you were done, you gathered everyone together. And once you were back in the rec room...
I got everyone. Oh, Ogre? Oh, so she's dead, huh? Sakura's been killed. I see.
While everyone else was focused on Sakura, you quietly placed the can on the ground. Honestly, I should have noticed. You should have been the first one to run up to Sakura's lifeless body. The Hina I know never would have left her side in a situation like that.
So, Sakura committed suicide. In order to hide this fact, Hina undertook a series of actions to undermine the investigation. As long as you could disguise the truth, you didn't care if we blamed you for her death. That's why you didn't bother to get rid of such obvious evidence, right? The footprints in the powder and the bottle of poison? Vital pieces of evidence, and yet...
So you're saying Hina consciously deceived us to make it look like she killed Sakura?
No! No! No, 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 I killed her! I did it!
That's enough, Hina. It's over.
It's not! Nothing's over!
It is! Actually, no. You're right. We have to end this properly.
Closing argument. Go. Ah. Oh wait, no. This one. It's got the knife. No, she put it back down upside down. An ogre. She's just a very muscular woman. There's nothing really. She just trained a lot. Okay. Let's see. She came out of the locker. There we go. She woke up. She scared, saw blood, passed out. Her other personality, Genocide Jill, woke up. Got scared. Grabbed the bottle. Went flop. Here. Bam. She's not the killer, though. Grabbed it.
The killer is you! This case began when Sakura asked a number of people to meet her in the rec room. Specifically, those people were Hiro, Toko, and Byakuya.
What a face.
But one of them headed out a bit earlier than the others, Toko. She got there one step ahead of everyone else and looked around for a good hiding spot.
Oh wait, I mixed those two things up. Now I see. The moment where she went in, out of the locker. So this is in here. She got out.
The killer is you! But one of them headed out a bit earlier than the others, Toko. She got there one step ahead of everyone else and looked around for a good hiding spot. And she found it. She crawled into the locker to get out of sight. Then, from inside the locker, she saw Sakura enter the room. Next to arrive was Hiro. When he got there, he mistakenly thought Sakura was going to try to kill him, so he panicked. Without thinking, he grabbed a nearby Monokuma bottle and attacked Sakura with it. Thinking he'd killed her, he hastily began covering up his crime. He took a magazine from the table and forged a dying message from Sakura. To that end, he wrote down a name. Toko. By writing her name, he was hoping to pin the murder on her. But of course, Toko had witnessed the whole thing. So as soon as the coast was clear, she jumped out of the locker and hid the magazine on the shelf with all the others. But in her rush, she made one little mistake.
Nice.
She put the magazine back upside down.
Be stupid.
Soon after, she watched as Sakura slowly opened her eyes. She also saw the blood dripping off Sakura's head and fainted. This caused her personality to switch back over to Genocide Jack. When she woke back up, her second personality also saw the blood-soaked Sakura. And she freaked out. And just like Hiro, she grabbed another Monokuma bottle and attacked her. This explains why there were 2 wounds on Sakura's head. Assuming Sakura really was dead this time, she set about disposing of the evidence. She gathered up the broken Monokuma bottle shards and the queen chess piece. And that explains how Sakura was attacked twice with the same type of weapon. But even after those 2 blows, she was still alive. So then, what was Sakura's actual cause of death? It was the poison that Sakura herself got from the chem lab. She turned the rec room into a true locked room scenario, and then drank the deadly mixture. And there, she took her final breath. Later on,
Or she just
the rest of us
trained
discovered that her body was in
got
there.
buff herself because martial arts was important to her.
We had to smash the door's window to get inside. But someone already knew what had happened. Knew that she had committed suicide. And that same someone quietly snatched the bottle of poison from off the ground. And while nobody was looking, replaced it with an empty protein can. They did all this specifically to place all the suspicion on themselves, in an attempt to guide the trial to a false conclusion. And the one who went to all that effort was you, Hina. That's the full truth of the case. Sakura took her own life, and you claim to be the killer to hide that fact. Isn't that right?
That's what happened? But, Makoto, how did you manage to... How were you able to uncover the truth that even I couldn't discern?
Huh? Oh, well, I mean...
You still haven't realized? We don't all act according to calculations and cost-benefit diagrams. That's what makes us so complicated. That's what you don't understand. And that's why you couldn't solve this case. See? Didn't I tell you? When you dismiss other people's feelings, it'll always come back to bite you in the end.
Nice.
Okay. I think we can all agree you made your point. Did you guys forget already? You still haven't voted yet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You seriously forgot? I can feel my energy draining out of me. Well, whatever. You don't really have a choice anyway. You just gotta do it. Maybe you don't want to, but please grab your lever and cast your vote.
Okay, then.
So, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. The one who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
My entire existence!
Okay, we're done here.
What did you say?
So that's the whole truth, huh? I see. But there's still one thing I don't understand.
Come on.
Hina, why did you try to cover up what happened? If the truth hadn't come to light, you would have died along with the rest of us.
What are you thinking?
And yet why did you do that?
Don't be mean!
Yeah, we almost died there.
What is this?
Because that's exactly what I wanted. What? I mean, the reason Sakura died is because all of you pushed her into her corner. You all killed her. So that's why.
You should have been the one to die.
I couldn't let her be the only one that died.
What?
You don't mean? You were gonna take us all with you? We have to atone for our sins. Because everyone, even me, we all killed her. I'll have to pay for our crimes.
What?
If we're serious, that's...
What is
You
this?
still don't understand? Then let me explain. Do you realize just how much despair Sakura was carrying with her when she died? Look at this. Such brutality has made me desperate. So instead of just waiting to be killed, I'll do it by my own hand. That's... I found it on the ground in front of the rec room. It's Sakura's suicide note. Suicide note? Thinking back, I should have seen it coming. It was right after Genocide Jack had attacked me. Sakura got mad and stormed out of the nurse's office. I ran out after her and... Sakura, calm down. You don't have to worry about me. I'm fine. I can't calm down. I don't care if I suffer for this. It's my fault after all. And now you're suffering because of me.
No forgiveness!
You tried to protect me, but because of me.
I can't forgive this!
My closest friend got hurt. Sakura. Because of me. My friends are all going to kill each other. This is all my responsibility. Sakura thought she was responsible. She thought everything was her fault. Which is why she wanted to find some way to get everyone to forgive her. She has to meet with them. You has to meet with those three? You can't! Don't you see how dangerous that is? Don't worry. I just want to talk to them.
But...
Talk about what? Listen, don't do it.